With Obama and Romney still running neck and neck, critics say the close race will make it easier to rig the election. Some claim the core of America's voting system is flawed, as it relies on equipment which can easily be tampered with and lacks transparency and accountability. RT's Anastasia Churkina reports.
The U.S., a beacon of democracy and an example to be followed by the rest of the world.
You're voting today?
One big source of pride is its fundamental concept of free and fair elections.
American elections are a disgrace. It's like looking into the kitchen of a first-class restaurant and losing your appetite at what you see, because we have an election system, a voting system, that is completely non-transparent.
An opinion shared by many political experts and educators.
If you were to hand your vote to a man in a magician's suit who then went behind a curtain, came out having first shredded the ballots to tell you who won, would you trust that process?
Just slide it in.
And that process, largely to blame, is the outdated electronic voting system.
In the states where all they have is electronic voting, it could be a real problem. If you don't have some other type of backup source to verify the vote count, it could be a problem.
Brad Friedman is an independent, award-winning blogger who has covered the U.S. election system for years. He calls the problem a pandemic and says change is long overdue.
Every single state in the union uses electronic voting. A third of the voters this year will vote on 100% unverifiable touchscreen voting systems, electronic voting systems. The rest of the country, by and large, will vote on paper ballots, but those paper ballots are also counted by electronic systems. Unless you can see inside a computer, there's no way to know if those computers have tallied those ballots correctly.
Several experiments conducted on electronic voting machines have proven that simple keystrokes and some knowledge of science and computers could flip results.
The circuitry inside the machine will clear the incorrect PIN numbers, insert the correct PIN numbers.
Experts say the accuracy of the vote count, even with paper trail, is a myth.
In 99% plus of the cases, those ballots never see the light of day. They're never examined, never recounted, and basically American elections at this point have virtually zero claim on public confidence and legitimacy.
The rules and specifications of how elections are held vary locally and state by state.
4,000 different counties, each of them use a different type of system, a different type of voting system. Each of them have different flaws, different vulnerabilities.
One particular company that makes electronic voting machines in the U.S. has earned a dubious reputation for unverifiable results as records vanish into thin air.
I go to an ATM and it's a Diebold machine. I get a confirmation slip and I go around the corner to vote and I make my vote and there's no record.
Diebold and other voter machine production companies are also known to have strong partisan affiliations.
They are not accountable to any voters. They are not just private, but private and extreme in their political sympathies. Democrats don't actually win that many elections. To be precise, Democrats almost never win close elections. And the trick, therefore, is to see to it that a race is or looks close.
Improving the election process in this digital age doesn't appear to be on anyone's agenda, including Barack Obama's.
Our president, who won't talk ever about election fraud and denies that it has ever happened, even when, members of his own party have been the victims of it.
And while the number of reported flaws grows with each passing election,
over the past decade, since 2000, when I think Congress was pretending to want to make things better, what has happened is things have gotten much, much worse.
It appears stealing an election in the U.S. may be a candidate's certain way to secure a win.
As easy as 1, 2, 3.
In this digital age of smartphones, tablets, and satellite navigation systems, American voters will head to the polls this November to cast their ballots using antiquated and unreliable voting machines, machines that will ultimately determine who will lead this nation in much need of its own repairs. Anastasia Churkina, RT, New York.